Dagenhart wide open, buries the triple.
Najee Smith with another three.
25 feet out, that's good from Shaver.
Boise State wins it.
Welcome inside Extra Mile Arena, basketball fans. We're in Boise for a matchup between the 4-2 Boise State Broncos and the 1-4 CSUN Matadors. Here inside Extra Mile Arena, I'm Leonard Berry. Alongside me, former Boise State Hooper Brian King. And Brian, for Boise State, a tough stretch, but they're coming towards the tail end of it, and they're on a 3-game winning streak coming into this matchup today against the Matadors.
Yeah, Leonard, they're playing really well last night, and I think fans forget. We started out pretty slow last year. We started a little slow this year. They're kind of rolling right now. They rely heavily on a couple of key guys. Maybe some new guys need to come in and give some minutes tonight, but Broncos are working right now. They're playing well.
And one player who's playing out of his mind to start the early season, Marcus Shaver Jr. for Boise State. He's stepped up into the full-time point guard role this year, and boy, has he excelled.
Boy, he really has, and that really was a tough move for Shaver, but you know, he's the Swiss Army knife. He does everything for this team. He's averaging 34 minutes a game, so he's getting a lot of court time, 14 points, leads the team with 9 rebounds. The guy just does everything, so they'll need him to play well every game.
Marcus Shaver at the time is 5th in the country in defensive rebounds per game. As a guard, he's averaging 8. And you look at these numbers, you mentioned that slow start, Brian. Last year for Marcus Shaver through the first 6 games, and this year, it's a light year and a leap, specifically in the rebounds and the assists.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the guy just does everything. And I wasn't sure the change to the point guard position was really going to be beneficial for him, but he's getting it done. I mean, he's playing fantastic.
He is playing exceptionally well for Boise State, helping them to that 4-2 start. And when you look at the numbers between these two teams, you see CSUN with the 1-4 record, but this is a Matador team that's been in some tough games, and in terms of pure numbers, they match Boise State very well.
Yeah, they really do, and quite honestly, that record is probably a little bit deceiving. This is a better basketball team. They've had 3 very close losses. They're very well coached by a veteran, experienced, decorated coach in Trent Johnson. They're going to play tough. They're going to play physical. They're going to play disciplined. They're going to kind of try to make it ugly. This is not an easy game for Boise State, and the coaches will tell you they're a little nervous about this one.
And Boise State, it's a homecoming for Trent Johnson on the CSUN bench. We'll get more into that when we come back to Extra Mile Arena. Boise State and CSUN coming your way on the Mountain West Network. Time for basketball in Boise. Broncos hosting the Matadors. Brian King, Leonard Berry with you. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the home side. Boise Broncos talked a lot about Marcus Shaver and what he means to this team. He leads the team in assists and rebounds per game, second in scoring for this Bronco lineup.
Well, of course, everybody knows about Tyson Dagenhart as well. We don't want to spend a lot of time on him. He's just having a fantastic year. But Najee Smith might be the secret mystery man that gets this team rolling like they have been.
And on the other side for CSUN, their starters, really good guard play for the Matadors all year, highlighted by Deontay Bostic and Aiden Wright.
Yeah, these two guards, very shifty, capable three-point shooters. Wright's averaging 17.5 points over the last couple of games. So at the end of possessions for CSUN, the ball will end up in one of their hands.
Wright scored 21 points in 31 minutes in a loss to Central Michigan on November 23rd. The CSUN team has not played in 6 days. They are rested. They are ready for this Boise State Bronco team. And in the middle, the tip-off is won by Oni Aisi for the Matadors, and that gets us underway. First offensive set going to the visitors. Ball quickly into the hands of Bostic, and you'll see a lot of Wright and Bostic. First attack of the basket is swatted by Dagenhart. However, this is Deshaun Allen Eikins for a 3, and after he gets his shot blocked, he comes back for a tray.
Bank is open at the latest hour of the evening for Aiken.
So the quick lead for the Matadors, and now Boise State will go to work. Broncos riding a 3-game winning streak, and they've won 4 out of the last 5 as Smith fumbles it over there in the corner.
Big lineup for CSUN. It's be interesting to see how the Broncos manage the inside.
3 on the shot clock for Smith with the air ball.
Well, we talked about in the open, CSUN very well coached. They are disciplined. They'll be patient offensively. They'll try to make it ugly. They'll run a set almost every time down. And if the set doesn't work, then they just kind of grab it, get it to the guards, and let them go to work.
Well, that didn't work. Wright hits the floor. Shaver's got the steal. A little bit of trouble in transition, but he'll finish with ease.
He's not loose yet. He kind of stumbled down the court and got that one to go in. A steal and a bucket for Shaver to start the game.
Just what Boise State wants to see, but it is CSUN still up by 1 here in the early stages. First touch for Ethan Abonaogo. And down low, that is Oni Aisi, the 6'9 senior.
Yeah, and Aisi, he will post every time down. They will give it to him if there's an opportunity. And they're going to guard you man-to-man the entire basketball game. That's Trent Johnson's way. That's the way he's always done it. They're going to guard you and guard you hard.
Degenhart, nice little slip to the basket. Talk about Trent Johnson, former Boise State Bronco. Played right here in Boise from 74 to 78.
A bit of a homecoming for Trent. He's had a storied coaching career across the country. Oh.
3 ball on its way. Another one knocked down. It's Ethan Abonaogo.
Well, we said they're certainly capable, and that 1-4 record is really not indicative of maybe how good this basketball team's going to be.
Broncos down by 4 early at home. And someone they want to get going, Shabuzo Abo. They'll get an isolation on the left side. Kick out for 3. That's Max Rice. And Aisi's got the miss.
8-4 early.
Just 3 minutes gone by here in Boise. Bostic thought about his first shot. Instead, it'll open it up for Wright. That was a deep 3. And rattles around. There's Boise State's leading rebounder, the point guard Marcus Shaver.
So he's got a bucket, a steal, and a rebound already. We've been playing a couple of minutes here.
He's filled up the stat sheet this year. Abo rising for 3. Broncos a little bit off here in the early going.
Just kind of getting their feet under him, getting them stretched out a little bit. Boy, Abo has really played well the last few games, Leonard.
He certainly has. He's been a big contributor to 20-plus point games. They're a little reach behind, poke away towards that Bronco bench. You talk about what he's brought to the team. He's averaging 17 points per game over his last 3 with the 2 20-point explosions. Had one against Loyola, had another one against Colorado, and for Boise State, exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and such a really big-time recruit for Boise State at the time, and he's shown us why the last 3 or 4 games.
Bostic off right. Degenhart went up a little bit too early against De'Aaron Tucker, but he still has it. Boise State with this small ball lineup. Broncos are 3-0 this season when these 5 start together.
Well, that's that man-to-man defense. They will guard you all day long.
Talk about
good
intensity.
Play by Abo. One more.
No shot clock reset. It's down to 5 for Smith. Trying to shake, puts up the pull-up, and that misses off right rim. Broncos just 2 of 6 from the floor.
Well, we've seen this in a number of Boise State's games this year. It's just a very slow start to the contest.
Blocked by Smith. Bostic tried to get fancy underneath the hoop.
Oh, Shaver.
That's nice.
Oh.
Doesn't go down. Smith fighting on the offensive end. The 3rd chance. No.
Shaver.
Shaver with the putback.
The kid has a nose for the ball. He just gravitates right towards it.
He is just playing on another level this season. Marcus Shaver has become a real player at the cup. Bostic off a screen. It's for 3. Tipped out of bounds. And that'll go to the Broncos. We'll take a timeout. Boise State trailing by 2 here in the early stages at ExtraMile Arena. There's Trent Johnson, head coach of the CSUN Matadors, under Barry Brian King with you. Mentioned it's a homecoming for Coach Johnson there on the CSUN bench. Former player at Boise State. We did some digging in the archives this week, and there he is back when he wore the blue and orange. Member of the 1976 team that was the first ever for Boise State to go to an NCAA tournament.
It's a homecoming for Trent Johnson. This is his town.
Had some big years here. Sadrak Nganga on the floor for Boise State, trying to attack the basket. Ball is loose. Nganga's got it. We've got a tie-up and a jump. Possession arrow, points for Boise State.
Yeah, it's really good to see Sada in there. I think this kid just needs court time. He needs some minutes out there because there will be a situation later in the year for Boise State. They're going to need to call on him.
A 6'10 freshman from Luanda, Angola. Shaver, he's wide open. Can't hit it, but Nganga on the offensive glass finds Shaver, creates contact, and scores off the glass.
Shaver, really unbelievable. I think he's listed at 6'2", but I tell you, if you stand next to him, he might be 6 foot, maybe.
He might be 6 foot, and he plays like he's 6'10". We got a foul called on the floor. Shaver, big game against Utah Valley. Here are his per game numbers, by the way. Nobody else in the country is doing what Marcus Shaver is doing this season. 14.3 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, and 2.5 steals per contest. Again, nobody else in the country has numbers like that. And he also leads everyone under 6'4" in rebounds per game.
I said he's the Swiss Army knife. He just does everything.
He's been one of the best players in the country at going up and getting the basketball at that point guard position. Some work on the left block out to the top. This is Slaymaker, Cam Slaymaker. He misses his first shot attempt, and Lucas Milner has the rebound. There's another guy that Boise State really wants to see get going along with Nganga.
Oh, good move, Tyson Degenhardt.
It was a great move.
Didn't get the finish. Great move by Tyson.
Bostic trying to slash to the basket. Out for Slaymaker. 3 is short. Max Rice with the board. Broncos looking for the lead. Milner. That won't go. Second chance. Yes.
Broncos just kind of chipping away again. Kind of a very workmanlike effort by both teams so far.
6-0 run for Boise State, doing a lot of work on the offensive glass. They've already got 4 O-boards. Stolen by Shaver, his second of the game. De'Aaron Tucker tried an ill-fated pass, and there is a steal right back from Aiden Wright. Right to the basket, drops it off for Tucker. And Milner is called for a foul. He glided in, and the Bronco fans don't like the call.
Oh, we get a second look right there. Actually, pretty good job for Tucker just to get his hands on it. Yeah. I think I probably agree with Lucas on that one.
Just ended up coming over and putting a little bit too much hip on Tucker, and crafty play from the junior Tucker to just put the shot up through that contact and draw the foul as he makes the first free throw.
Tucker, a very, very good free throw shooter, 90% on the season. Gets the first one to go, he'll get another one.
Tucker makes them both. Tied at 10, 12:20 to go in half number 1. There's Bronco head coach Leon Rice in the middle of his 13th season with Boise State, and Jace Whiting into the game for the Broncos off the bench. He's been a real big contributor to this season early.
Oh.
Over and back. Confusion between the Broncos. It was Abo who threw it away.
A little more tempo to that possession, but unfortunately didn't turn out the way Boise State wants. Offensively, off to a slow start, both teams. That's okay for CSUN. That's just kind of how they like to play. They want to make it dirty and physical and get it close at the end. Boise State really doesn't want to be that way. They want to guard you, and then they want to put up a lot of points.
Bostic to the free throw line. That's a tough shot, and he makes it look easy. The sophomore from Clearwater, Florida.
Again, strictly man-to-man for CSUN. Whiting on the perimeter will be your spot-up shooter.
Milner triple teamed. Abo, that's difficult too from outside the free throw line. And it's the Matadors looking to extend their lead. Alan Eikens into the middle. A whistle comes, a shooting foul. And Alan Eikens is going to the line when we return to ExtraMile Arena. The Matadors still holding the slim advantage over the Broncos. Leonard Berry and Brian King with you back at ExtraMile Arena. Mentioned it's been a slow start. Well, certainly a player that Boise State wants to get going, Shabuzo Abo, who's been on fire over his last 3 games.
Boy, he really has. You can see it right through in the graphic, 17 points a game, and he really is a key component for Boise State having a successful season. Slow start tonight, not only for him, but for all of the Broncos. He needs to get it going. His energy is really critical for Boise State.
Sean Allen Eikens is at the free throw line. The redshirt junior who transferred in from New Orleans misses his first free throw. This is actually his 3rd school now after starting his collegiate career at North Dakota for the Fighting Hawks. He makes the 2nd. The Matadors up by a triple. Into the hands of Abo.
Boy, Shaver's just going to go get one himself, I think, here.
Foul on the floor. Right was wrapped around the hips of Shaver. That'll be a foul. And we talked about everybody having a slow start. Shaver's the only hot player on either side. He's got 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting.
Well, I think he's always on a mission, right? He's hunting hoops all the time. He's not going to take a play off.
6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals already in the contest for Shaver.
A really good out of bounds play by Boise State. Didn't turn out very well, though.
All right, read that the whole way. Takes it the length of the court and scores the fast break points to make it a 7-0 CSUN run.
Well, I think Tyson Degenhardt just really has to touch the ball every possession down for Boise State. There's Abo finally gets going.
His first make, it comes from beyond the arc. And Shabuzo Abo's got a 3-ball.
Boy, it doesn't take long to cut into leads when you start getting 3s versus 2s. There's a high ball screen by CSUN.
On the drive, a nice finish from Alan Eikens, who's been getting more involved here coming out of the media timeout. That makes it 3 straight makes for the Matadors. Boise State gets that ball to Degenhardt down on the left block. Well, he lost it between his legs. It's a tie up. And the possession arrow is going to favor the visitors. Ball goes back over to the Matadors.
Then Najee Smith will check back in for Boise State. Coach Rice not very happy with Boise State's effort so far.
Broncos been crashing the offensive glass, but offensively, outside of that, it's been some tough looks. And the shots that they have gotten against this man-to-man for CSUN has not been easy.
Yeah, Broncos a little half-court press, kind of a soft press, just to mix things up a little bit. CSUN again, they're just going to run their set. They're going to keep running it till they get what they want.
They take a 3 on the left wing, in and out from Adam Afifi. Shaver loses it on his way up.
Boy, and again, CSUN just so patient, not in a hurry. Trying to get a little post action. Yep.
Tucker wants to bang with Degenhart. A jump through, a foul on Tyson Degenhart. And this is one of the things for Boise State this year. Small ball lineup a lot of the time. That means Degenhart's got to play the 5.
Yeah, that's right. And probably not the perfect position for him, but that's just, we just don't have a lot of bodies in that spot. That's, for Boise State, Lucas Milner really needs to fill that position for Boise State.
Tallest player on the roster for Boise State this season is the senior transfer from Detroit Mercy, Mohamed Silla, who hasn't seen a ton of in-game action just yet this season for Boise State, but he could be a big key down the stretch going into Mountain West play for the Broncos when they need to go a little bit bigger.
He may see some time tonight. How about Tucker for CSUN on the free throw line? Big fella's got a great stroke.
He's made all 4 so far. Degenhart underneath, going to work, and 1. Count the basket for the sophomore.
It's another look. Tyson just bullies his way in there, gets a little contact. Sense a little frustration with him right now with this slow start for Boise State. Gives Tyson 4 on the night.
Last year's Mountain West Freshman of the Year. A huge catalyst for Boise State during the tournament. Smith with the offensive rebound. Swing it to Degenhart. Rice is open straight away, 3 ball, front rim, offensive rebound, another one for the Broncos.
Oh, Najee, good spin.
Wow.
Najee Smith plays like it's noon ball at the Y. I mean, he's just all over the place. He's got the spin moves, the finger rolls. He'll hit a 3. That's just great spin by Najee.
Broncos trail by 2. We welcome you back to ExtraMile Arena. This season for CSUN men's basketball, it's a season honoring one of their student athletes in memory of Nick Ehrman. He overcame cancer in high school, was the first recruit by Trent Johnson to CSUN before he had to step away from the team due to cancer. He passed away in August of 22, and both the men's and women's team this year for CSUN are wearing patches in his memory. And he was a big part of the team, a real inspiration to everyone he met, and unfortunately no longer with us. CSUN has the lead, up by 2 here in half number 1.
The game is going exactly how Trent Johnson wants it to. He wants to keep it close. He wants to keep it methodical, a little bit of frustrating, and then, just make baskets once in a while.
Well, Fifi doesn't get the shot off. They do like to run the shot clock down, but not that far.
Not that far, a little too far that time.
Didn't look like Fifi knew that it was down so low as he was trying to spin on the post. Broncos a chance to tie or take the lead.
Put dribble, handoff. Broncos like to attack the middle on the dribble. We haven't seen it yet tonight. There's Najee.
Smith for 3, left wing, and he's got it.
Broncos a little full court pressure, a little 1-2, 1-1 trap. Again, just trying to burn some of that shot clock off, knowing that CSUN's going to burn more of it themselves.
5 straight points for Smith to give Boise State the lead. Oh, Bostic lost the dribble. Afifi to the free throw line. Throws it off the leg of Smith, and he nearly got it to drop. Max Rice has another rebound. He's been busy. That's his 4th board.
I don't know if that's a good sign or not if you're leading rebounders or your guards.
It's been the way it has gone for Boise State this season. Shaver leads the team with 9. Degenhart's 2nd on the year for the Broncos. Great entry pass, Tucker, but Degenhart's right behind him.
think Degenhardt got a little piece of that. Unfortunate for Boise State. That would have been an easy bucket.
Degenhardt to the paint. That shot was affected by Bostic. Rebounded just barely by Afifi. CSUN is making it really hard for Boise State to get into the paint. Bostic, tough shot over Shaver. Gets his own miss. Still in the lane. Bostic, no. Abo's got it.
Boy, Shaver says, let's slow this thing down a little bit. I need a break. 5.5 minutes to go. 2019 CSUN.
Oh, what a pass from Shaver to find Abo, make the extra pass, make an extra pass, but Shaver can't put the end to it.
Boy, a little frustration, I think, on the Boise State bench. Just can't get a bucket.
Broncos 2 of 9 from the outside so far tonight. Pull up from the free throw line. That's a miss from Abonigo. Abo in transition.
Throw it up.
For Rice. Knocks it down for the third Bronco three.
Broncos really needed that bucket by Max Rice.
That puts Boise State on a 10-0 run over the last 4 minutes. Bostic to the drive, has the corner. Right, stripped away by Shaver. Smith spins. Oh, he got to the basket, but lost the basketball. Rice, back-to-back threes, cash.
It's a little street ball right now. Again, we're down at the Y. 2 big buckets by Max Rice, the senior.
The Broncos blowing it open here in the first half. 13-0 run for Boise State as they lead CSUN 26-19 thanks to the outside shooting from Max Rice. A run for Boise State to take the lead. 13-0 over the last 4 minutes for the Broncos. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you at ExtraMile Arena. It was 5 straight points for Najee Smith. Max Rice comes back and says, I'll do you one better. 6 straight points from Max Rice.
2 big threes by Max, and he's really shot it incredibly well the last few games. He's a 45% three-point shooter. He's capable. If he's wide open, pretty good chance it's going to go in. Those are 2 big buckets for the Broncos.
It's 2 of 4 tonight. He's got 6 points. Tied with Marcus Shaver for the team and game lead, along with Deshaun Allen Eikens of CSUN. Bostic under 10 on the shot clock, left corner, little pump fake, and Eikens steps inside. He's got 8 on the night.
Boy, mid-range jumper by Eichen, the lost art of college basketball, the mid-range.
Pavle Kuzmanovic on the floor for Boise State.
Well, I think Boise State really could use some good minutes by Kuzmanovic this year as well.
Rice, baseline drive to the basket. His floater is off the mark. Bostic, another rebound. He's got his 4th of the night. The guard's getting up in the rebound category.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a little guy's game. Bostic, good move.
The blow by. He looked like he was trying to go Vince Carter on Shibuzo Abo.
I think he was. I think that's what he was thinking about doing. 2:56 to go in a pretty quiet first half here at ExtraMile.
Broncos feeling good about the lead. And feeling good about how they've turned things around from the floor here recently. Tough pass to Smith. Able to bring it down, turn around. It is going to stay with the Broncos. Goes off Aisi out of bounds, say the officials.
You get another look at it. Najee again just going to work. He's just a battler. Broncos will keep it. Shaver back into the game. He got his 30-second rest. And he's back.
top. Kuzmanovic, offensive foul against Lucas Milner, setting an off-ball screen.
Wow.
Try to free up Shaver.
That was Y-ball call right there. That was this little baby touch on that screen by Lucas. Yeah, not much.
Barely even a screen.
Right, it wasn't even a screen. That's right.
But he did step into it, so the foul is called. Goes the other way for CSUN. If he made more contact, it was definitely an offensive foul. Here's Bostic out to right.
Shot clock at 6.
That is a dangerous pass. And Bostic wants to pull. Tipped out. IEC again on the other end this time. Ball goes back to the Broncos. So all of a sudden for CSUN, a very promising start has faded down the stretch here towards the end of the first half. Just one of their last 8 with 4 turnovers in the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, they have gone quiet offensively.
Oh. Abo nearly open, stolen by Wright. He was open for just a second, but Aiden Wright doing some nice reading. He's got a couple of steals in the contest now. Bostic slashes his way through. Count the bucket. Nice finish from the 6'6" guard.
Yeah, Bostic will take it right at you, and if you take that away, he'll step back and pop the 3. Dangerous player, leads the team in scoring.
He's a really huge get for Trent Johnson and the CSUN team from Murray State, where he appeared in 35 games with the Racers for over his 2 years. Of course, Murray State last year made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, so he's a guy who comes into this team knowing what it takes to win, not only just win in the Ohio Valley Conference, but win on the biggest stage.
Right, leads the team in score, 15.5 points a game. 5 here tonight. Minute 30 left. First half. Shaver says, I'll do it myself.
Rattles around before being grabbed up by Eikens. Alan Eikens putting together a very solid first half with 8 points and 3 rebounds. So this is the chance for CSUN to tie it up right here. Walking the baseline, Abonogo. Foul called against Degenhart. A little bit too tight a defense against Alan Eikens.
I think if you would have asked Trent Johnson before the game if he could go into the halftime locker room tied with Boise State, he'd take that all day long. This is exactly the type of game he wants.
He certainly would, I think, regardless of when you ask him as well. And one of the things he said after the loss against Central Michigan is Eikens misses the first half of the 1-and-1. He doesn't get another. But he said that the Central Michigan game was the first time that all season that they got beat. In every other game, they'd really been in it. Central Michigan was the first team that kind of put that game out of reach for CSUN. It was 82-66 when it finished, but they've been tied in every other game.
They really have been, and that's why I said this is a deceiving record at 1-4. They very easily could be 4-1. Let's not forget, Trent Johnson's first year as the head coach, rebuilding a program. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Of course, Shaver ends up with the loose ball.
Degenhart outside, that's deep. Can't get it. IEC grabs it as it rolls off the right side. Another chance for CSUN to try and tie it late in the first half.
Bostic will want the ball in his hands.
Double teamed in the paint. Abonogo over Smith, and he's got it for the lead. Broncos can hold for the final shot of the first half. Shaver, tough take. Out for Rice, another offensive rebound. Finds Shaver down low, switches hands. He gets fouled, almost made it look spectacular.
Boy, just one of those nights for the Broncos. Rice makes a great pass. Shaver, really a great play, just doesn't get it to fall. Seeing the clock, 3.9 left.
Foul goes against Oniaisi. That is his first. Shaver's got 2 shots. First free throw, Marcus Shaver. Smooth.
Leonard, quite honestly, the only thing Marcus Shaver hasn't done well this year, shoot free throws. He's 61%. Missed a couple of critical ones early in the South Dakota State game. That's the only area he hasn't played perfect.
The Broncos sitting just barely under 70% as a team on the year. Of course, that's a number they'd like to see go up. But Shaver makes both to reestablish the Boise State lead. CSUN, with just under 3 seconds to go to work, to half court. That's way off left, off the hands of Fidelis Okarike. And for Boise State, they go into the locker room with a lead, but it's a slim margin, just 1 point, 28-27. We'll be back with halftime stats and highlights from Extra Mile Arena when we return. Back in Boise, halftime between the Broncos and the Matadors. You saw that preview for Saturday. One of the things about Boise State football, kind of a tradition of excellence, built for success, sustaining success. The men's basketball last year with the championship did the double, won the regular season, won the Mountain West tournament. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to establish that winning culture every season, make it the expectation. And going into this game against CSUN, you look at the 1-4 record, it's not an opponent you can overlook, and the first half stats tell us that story.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, don't sleep on Boise State basketball, right? This has been a football town for many, many years, but more seasons tickets sold this year than any time in a long time. Leon Rice and his staff has really got this town excited about Boise State basketball. But CSUN is just, they're better than their 1-4 record. They want to make it ugly. They want to make it sloppy, and then they're going to penalize you at the end. We've got a 28-27 score, and the good thing for Boise State is they really have gotten the rebound edge, and that was a big concern for Leon Rice and his staff, was they have to dominate the board. So far they've done that.
Yeah, the rebounds have been a big deal for Boise State. And of course, their leading rebounder is Marcus Shaver. He's not leading the team tonight. Instead, he's been filling up the stat sheets in other ways. He's been scoring, he's been assisting, and he's been swiping the ball.
Well, he's knocked down threes. They just saw a steal and a rebound and then a bucket, and he's what makes this team go. I mean, everything has to go through Marcus Shaver. He just plays his tail off and finishes at the rim, and he's 6'2", but not really. He's probably 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'5", and he's had a fantastic game.
He's had a great game. And on the other side, Deshaun Allen Eikens for CSUN is their leading scorer. He's been the one to watch. We expected it would be the guards of Bostic and Wright, but Allen Eikens has really taken over and put his stamp on this ball game.
Yeah, a lot of confidence by Eichen, and he scored in a number of different ways. You see a little mid-range right there, and he gets to the rim. And again, this is exactly how Trent Johnson wanted this game to go for CSUN.
The Broncos have won 3 straight games. In those games, their margin of victory has been 17.7 points. Right now, they're separated by just 1 with CSUN. They'll look to extend and walk away with their 4th win, or will CSUN pick up their 2nd victory on the season? When we come back, we'll unravel it all in the second half. It's time for the second half in Boise. One huddle a little more excited about the score at the moment than the other. And for CSUN, yes, trailing by a point. Dante Bostic, just 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting. He's a player that the Matadors really want to get going in the second half if they want to win this game.
Yeah, leading scorer, what a great player. Only averages 15, only 3 tonight. Trent Johnson wants to see him make a few more buckets in the second half.
Does have 4 rebounds for the Matadors. It'll be Bronco ball to begin. Tyson Degenhart for Boise State, having himself a tough offensive performance, just 4 points in the first half, and really been the story. Neither side has a scorer in double digits. Boise State on the season has 4 players averaging double digits. Abo among them. He's got a left corner 3, and like it was in the first half for Boise State, basket's tough to come by to start the second. Degenhart, he's got the mismatch.
Boy,
little
nice
baby
shot.
hook.
So soft. Tyson Degenhart's just can hurt you from so many different spots. That little baby hook's not as easy as it looks, by the way. The full court pressure by Boise State again. I think they're trying to pick up the tempo a little bit here.
Allen Eikens for Wright, in front of the CSUN bench. The 3 ball is off. Run out for Rice.
A little quicker pace by the Broncos. Again, CSUN's going to guard you man to man.
Haven't seen anybody get really confident as Shaver sails a pass. Everyone's confident to shoot, but no one has confidence that it's going in when they're shooting it yet on either side.
Yeah, and boy, that's just a little bit critical too when you're shooting. You better believe that thing's going to go in, or you shouldn't shoot it. Again, a little half-court trap by Boise State. Again, just trying to burn a little bit of time off that shot clock, knowing that CSUN will be patient.
Aiden Wright to the corner. 3-ball rolls around. Ethan Abonigo with the miss for the Matadors this time.
CSUN's had 2 really good looks to put a little pressure on Boise State. Missed them both.
Abonigo's another one of the transfers for CSUN that's hoping will make a big impact for them in the Big West this season. There's another 3-point miss from Abo.
CSUN's doing a nice job defensively. Boise State really offensively likes to dribble drive to the paint, and CSUN is just not letting it happen.
Broncos are barely getting paint touches in this game whatsoever. Bostic gets a man in the air to the free throw line. The runner is short. Shaver to the hoop. Marcus Shaver Jr. No. It was close. Three-point Bronco lead. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Allen Eikens to the basket, around Degenhart. Another shot just won't fall. Lit on the basket on both sides right now. 3, Abonigo. Abo's got the rebound.
Boy, the Broncos very fortunate here early in the second half. CSUN has had 4 or 5 really good looks.
Marcus Shaver steps out of bounds, turns it over. Back to the Matadors right there in that left corner. That's something we're seeing get whistled more and more, it seems like. Just the foot on the line ever so slightly.
Yeah, maybe they need to widen the court a little bit, calling it too much. Shaver gets a little blow. Jace Whiting in, freshman from Burley, Idaho. Really has given the Boise State some valuable minutes this year.
It really has. The drive, big collision as Abo got a Bonigo on the back of the head, and he'll go to the line shooting 2.
Get a second look. Again, just a little head fake, a little ball fake. Get a chance to get a couple of points from the free throw line here.
So the grad transfer Abonigo at the line, Lakeville, Minnesota native who spent 5 seasons at the University of North Dakota. That included a redshirt year. Made 24 starts, 90 appearances for the Fighting Hawks. So this is his 6th year in college basketball, and it is his first with the Matadors in California. Big difference moving to Northridge from North Dakota.
Oh yeah, a bit of a difference. But you know, it's interesting when you look at rosters across the country, how many 6-year seniors you see out there. I mean, we've got 24, 25, 26-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds.
Whiting for 3, got it.
Oh boy. Jace Whiting, that was a really big 3, much needed by the Broncos.
You talk about the older players. Jace Whiting is a freshman, one of the oldest freshmen, after he spent 2 years serving a mission in Finland. He was in Helsinki. Right. Dumps it to Tucker. De'Aaron Tucker, middle of the lane against Degenhart. And Degenhart, he might be undersized at the 5, but he can defend with the best of them.
And another missed opportunity for CSUN. They've had their chances.
Broncos by 5. Second half has not been kind to the Matadors. 0 of 6 to start this half.
Yeah, and those have been really good looks. Wide open threes, a couple of easy ones in the paint. That may come back to haunt them.
Degenhart ripped away by Bostic. Deontay Bostic got right in there. Whiting steals it back for Boise State. And Jace Whiting, the freshman from Burley, Idaho. He's giving Boise State the key minutes they need. 33-28 the score. Boise State leads CSUN in the second half at Extra Mile Arena. Leonard Berry and Brian King with you. And Brian, we talked a little bit about how hard it's been for both these teams to see the ball go through the hoop here tonight. CSUN, they missed their first 6 shots of the second half. When you are struggling as an offense like that, what's the best way to kind of jumpstart yourself and get one?
Well, if you're a shooter, I mean, if you're a knockdown three-point shooter, you just have to keep shooting, and you have to know and believe that the next one you release is going in. If you're not a shooter, if you're not that knockdown guy, then maybe you probably just shouldn't take that shot. Maybe you should just go to the rim or drive and dish or do something. Get yourself to the free throw line, something different. And that's what Tyson Degenhart is going to attempt to do right here.
And Tyson Degenhart does it beautifully. Fakes left, spins back right, and he's got 8 points.
Boy, shooting and scoring is so much about confidence. If you doubt at all, the ball's not going in. It's just not. The basketball gods won't allow it.
And there is the first make for CSUN in the half. It comes courtesy of Deshaun Allen Eikens, and he now has 10 points in the contest. First player in the game to reach double digits is a New Orleans transfer for CSUN.
There's Jace Whiting. Whiting to rise at the guard line. 6 on the shot clock.
Rice, little misdirection. He got open for that 3 ball. He had the trajectory, just not the distance. And Boise State not having their best shooting night either. 14 of 38, 5 of 17 from downtown. Heavy-handed drive from Bostic. Ball is recovered by Whiting. Degenhart to a cutting Rice. Flips it out to the corner. Shaver at the rim.
Boy, he's just really fun to watch. Again, that shot at home might have looked pretty easy. That was not an easy take by Shaver.
And then he picks up the foul at half court on Bostic. That was a nice finish. He was expecting contact, and he didn't get it.
Little finger roll at the rim.
He makes the game of basketball look so easy.
Oh, he does. He's just, it's a pretty game. It's an easy game for him. Shaver with 10.
Allen Eikens. Trying to give and go. Doesn't get it back, though.
8 on the shot clock.
Bostic. Nice finish. Matches exactly what Shaver can do on the other end.
Yep, CSUN now getting those buckets to fall. 37-32 Broncos.
And it very easily could be a CSUN lead had they not had their struggles earlier in this half. Boise State weathering the storm. Milner runs into a big body down low of Ethan Abonogo, but the shot is whistled off, and it's a foul on the floor.
Get another look at that. Miller does a good job just holding on to the basketball.
It's another game for Boise State where defensively very, very solid. Broncos 33rd in the adjusted defensive efficiency in the KenPom rankings. That was a big part of the reason why Boise State made the NCAA tournament last year, was how good they were defensively.
Boy, and they're every bit as good this year.
Shaver has his shot blocked by Bostic, rebounded by Tucker. And CSUN has been matching Boise State's defensive intensity all night long.
Yeah, they really have, and they're just hanging around. Very workmanlike effort.
Right, 3 ball, left rim.
Boy, Boise State needs to just keep making buckets. CSUN is giving them way too many opportunities to spread this lead.
Whiting wants to attack. They have a foul called early on, no continuation. So no basket.
Jace Whiting, though. I mean, the freshman, he's not afraid to go in there. Little up and under. They just got him a little bit earlier than he wanted him to get him.
Trying to see on that replay when they got him and at what part it could have been where they would have not called continuation.
19 on the clock.
Foul on the floor. This one going against Deshaun Allen Eikens as he pushed Najee Smith in the back.
The Broncos will have it again underneath. 20 on the clock.
Triple handoff to Whiting. Another drive by the freshman. No hesitation there. Abo doubled. 5 on the clock for Smith. At the line, left elbow, turn around. Milner keeps it alive, but rebounded by Abonogo.
Pretty good possession by Boise State. A lot of energy that time. Just didn't end up getting the look they wanted. CSUN hanging around.
Broncos can't separate. Still up by 5 as we move through the second half. Ball lost in the middle of the key by Aisi. Broncos push it the other way. Left to right goes Whiting. Shaver wide open from downtown. Marcus Shaver is cash.
Boy, he's not going to miss many of those. Wide open, feet set. Big bucket for Marcus Shaver Jr.
A shoot-around look for Shaver and an offensive foul as he gets caught underneath the chin by an errant elbow from Allen Eikens. The Broncos up by 8. Marcus Shaver making big shots. We're back in Boise in the second half. 11:16 left to play. Leonard Berry and Brian King bringing you all the action here on the Mountain West Network. It's been a fun one so far. CSUN's keeping it close. Boise State trying to pull away, just not been able to do it. Broncos undefeated in this series, 9-0. CSUN is 0-6 here in Boise. Boise State trying to make it 10 straight wins against the Matadors.
Well, CSUN has certainly had plenty of opportunities. I mean, this game could very easily be 40-40, or CSUN could actually have the lead. Haven't shot it very well the second half. Offensively for Boise State, it seems like Jace Whiting comes in the game. Tell me if I'm wrong, Leonard, but the offense kind of starts to flow a little bit better. He's getting some penetration, kicks to shooters. He's done a really nice job here in the second half.
He really has. And I think, Brian, one thing that you would notice too as well is that when he's coming in, he's moving to the 1 and letting Shaver play a little bit more off the ball rather than be ball dominant. And that's really helped Boise State, and it really helped Shaver because he can spot up like you saw in that last made 3 that sent us to the break, where Shaver has those open looks and he doesn't have to create as much for himself.
Yeah, I think he probably has to look forward to that, actually. He gets a little bit of a break. I mean, playing point guard is tough. I mean, you got to bring the ball up the court, and you got guys hounding you all over the place. So I think that's really a good look for Boise State. Jace Whiting playing a little bit of the point, and Shaver moves to the 2. Seems to be working here in the second half.
Field goal percentages for both teams lower than they would like, but it's a close game, and at this point it's just a matter of making buckets down the stretch. Whatever number you finish with will be inconsequential if you come away with a victory.
Yeah, well, Boise State knows one thing. CSUN is going to battle them the entire 40 minutes, and they're just going to have to continue to play, make buckets, get stops, because CSUN is going to come at them.
Talked a lot about Trent Johnson and what he means for the CSUN program. Leon Rice on the bench for Boise State. You see him crouched down at the top of your screen. 2-time Mountain West Coach of the Year. And defensively, under Leon Rice, this Boise State team has been very impressive over the last 2 seasons. Whiting, end of shot clock 3. Catches a little bit of rim, and a foul is called against Abo.
Oh, boy, that should have went the other way. Oh. Now, maybe I didn't see that right. We might get a second look at it, but it sure looked like that Abo's the one that got pushed out of the way. Again, I'm a little biased. Leonard, I'm a little biased.
Here's the look underneath the basket. It's Cam Slaymaker, the freshman guard from Coquitlam, British Columbia, that was called as the one being fouled by Abo. So Abo picks up his second foul of the night. Matadors go back to work offensively. That's Aiton Wright, and that is creating your own shot.
That is, and that's just a big, strong kid just getting his way to the bucket and putting one off the board.
17.5 points per game over his last two contests. Just 4 points tonight. Air ball from Boise State.
Boy, and Shaver got a good look there, too. Ball just slipped out of his hands. 40-34, CSUN hanging around. So Slaymaker in the game, obviously not afraid to shoot. He got in and got two up really quick in the first half.
Yes, he did back early on. Haven't really seen him since. Wright.
Boy, good defense by Degenhardt.
2 on the shot clock. 1, it's thrown up by Wright. He got a really good look at the end of the clock. But Shaver rips the board away for his 5th.
Boy, this would be a good time for Boise State just to go on a run. Great pass. Agbo's got to knock that down.
And Abo got a little bit in his own head, it looked like, as he thought about making the extra pass. And sometimes you just have to be selfish, and that was one of those times.
That was one of those times.
Of course, one of the philosophies of this Bronco team is to be elite ball movers, and they certainly are. Right, left wing threes wide open, and Boise State can't afford to give up too many of those to a really good shooter in Aiton Wright. Last year, all Big West honorable mention with a team high 28 starts for Wright. That's a huge foul, and it's called against Slaymaker. Screen was set by Degenhardt.
Slaymaker definitely gets the worst of this. Tyson just sets a good, hard, big screen. Slaymaker might have a couple bruises on his shoulder tomorrow.
Surprised they called that a foul as well against Slaymaker. He just ran into his screen. We'll take a timeout, though. It's a 3-point game in Boise. A look at CSUN's upcoming schedule as they trail Boise State here on a Tuesday night. 4 losses in a row, 3 of them close, and the Central Michigan game, like we said earlier, the only game where Trent Johnson felt like his team was actually beat by anybody.
Yeah, again, this team is better than their 1-4 record really would indicate. A 5-point loss, a 7-point loss, a 1-point loss, and I know the Boise State coaches were just really concerned that, you know, they don't want this to be the game that CSUN actually breaks out.
And if you looked a little bit further ahead on that schedule, you'd see that CSUN next week will be at Fresno State. That's a Bulldog team that won 20 games last year. Max Rice to the basket, and he extends the Bronco lead. And that's one of the things that will be interesting to watch as well, seeing how CSUN has played Boise State, to see how CSUN plays Fresno State, because right now, I don't think anybody outside of San Diego State really knows how good they can be in the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The Mountain West is a bit of a mystery right now.
Wyoming struggling without EK. Utah State didn't have a season to their standards last year. The Bulldogs were a 20-win team, as I just said, last year. 2 seconds on the shot clock for Tucker. And the Matadors continuing to use a lot of clock. This comes out off Rice, says the official down at the baseline, and it'll be a second chance. Into the hands of Deontay Bostic. This is Wright. Fade away, tough look over Whiting, and Chase Whiting has the board for Boise State.
Oh.
Goes straight in, loses the ball, but he's going to get a foul call that'll help him out.
Yeah, boy, got bailed out there. Whiting gets bailed out a little bit here, not sure where he was going. Broncos will keep it.
The Broncos will get the ball back, and we will step aside. Broncos still up by 5 over CSUN. Brian King and Leonard Berry here at ExtraMile Arena. Second half action between the Broncos and the Matadors. Boise State defense back at it again this season. So far have not given up over 70 points to a team this season, held 3 under 60, and are currently 28th nationally, giving up just 59.2 points per game, and tonight just 37 for CSUN through the first 33 minutes.
Well, the Broncos take great pride in their defense, and they're showing it again tonight as they would have all season and last season. I mean, last season they were very good defensively.
Whiting from the corner wants a triple, give him 3.
3-guard lineup by Boise State. Whiting, Shaver, Rice, 3 shooters on the perimeter. You think one of them is going to be open.
Now Whiting's hit his second 3-ball of the night. It puts Boise State up by 8. Right to the corner. There is a big bucket and a necessary bucket from Abonogo. Man, CSUN needed that.
Boy, I don't know how many times I've said it tonight, but CSUN, the Matadors, just hanging around.
They've got a coach who's seen a thing or two during his time. Degenhart to the basket. No, blocked by Fidelis Okereke.
Boy, big high ball screen.
Bostic. Pass tip by Shaver, stolen by Shaver. He's got a 3rd steal. He wants to take it himself. He loses the ball. It is a collision. There's a foul, and they're going to call it against the Matadors. It's a 1-and-1 for Shaver.
Well, we'll see the end of this. I'm not sure why he didn't get a shooting foul out of this. Kind of looked like he was trying a little scoop shot on the other side. Oh, why is that not a 2-shot foul?
It's actually, let's see.
They're still talking about it.
Yeah, there's
maybe it is.
It should be 2 shots.
How is it not?
They're saying 1-and-1.
How is that not 2 shots?
It's the 7th foul against CSUN, which puts Boise State into the bonus. I think because Shaver lost the handle on the way up, they're calling it a loose ball foul. That's my only explanation. And Shaver misses it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's we didn't get an explanation. That's the only explanation I could to imagine that leads to that scenario. But that is not the official ruling. A little bit of a confusing sequence for Wright and CSUN there, as Wright missed it, and then Okereke had a chance and just threw it over the basket.
Yeah,
another 1-and-1.
Another lost opportunity for the Matadors. Really a great pass.
It was a nice pass from Wright. So now Najee Smith is at the free throw line for Boise State, and he is shooting the first half of a 1-and-1. And Smith makes that. It's just the 5th free throw attempted all night for Boise State. Talk about how good the CSUN defense has been. They're not fouling either.
No, they're not.
1 for 2.
And Boise State's not taking advantage of when they do and sending them to the free throw line.
Broncos shooting 50% at the stripe. Broncos were not a good free throw shooting team last year. Finished 11th in the Mountain West. Of course, all of that forgiven by winning the double. Bostic airballs the floater. Shaver had the rebound. He loses it as he crashes to the floor, and Bostic is fouled. Some sequences here on the left end for CSUN are not going the way they want them to.
Boy, a string of bad events. It starts with a travel first and a no call. Obviously a push off there by the Matadors. Shaver slips, good pickup, and he's fouled. Kind of that simple. We saw the replay of the monitor here at ExtraMile Arena. Crowd not happy. And the Matadors cut it to 5.
With 5.5 just about remaining. Could go down to 4 here. Bostic, second free throw coming up. It's 2 for 2 on the night. Make it 3 for 3. Bostic with 9 points. He's getting closer to that season average of 15. We said if the Matadors want to get it, he's got to be around there. Well, they're down by 4, and he's getting close. Whiting to Degenhart. And he takes a shoulder of Okereke.
Boy, Okereke is not a guy you want to take a shoulder from. That is all muscle.
Yeah, Fidelis Okereke is listed at 6'6", 260. He might be 5% body fat.
Oh boy, it's not a guy you want to do rebound drills with at practice. I would be getting in the other line. Whatever line he's in, I'm getting in the other line.
That is the 9th foul against CSUN. It's a 1-and-1 for Degenhart. Next foul will put Boise State into the double bonus, and Degenhart misses his free throw. Broncos 3 of 7 at the free throw stripe tonight. And you can think back to a year ago when Boise State lost in overtime to St. Louis and how many free throws they missed in that game did them in. Broncos haven't gotten to the line all that much, but they are still missing at about the same clip.
Yeah, it just must be so frustrating to the Bronco coaching staff. I mean, there's just nothing you can do about that.
Can play great defense on the other end, and that's what they do on Oni Aisi.
Opportunity for Degenhart. He's got a mismatch.
Shaver into attack mode, finds Degenhart up and under.
Boy, one of the first times the Broncos have been able to get down the middle on the dribble. Matadors have done a really good job of keeping him out. Good things happen for Boise State when they get the ball to the middle.
Bostic fouled by Shaver, coming around a screen. Second foul against Shaver on the night.
See a little high ball screen, and Shaver just, Shaver just really has to be exhausted right now. 33 minutes already.
The Broncos will sub him out. So what can Boise State do with Shaver off the floor? And what can CSUN possibly do? Right. A bounce pass to Allen Eikens. 3 on the shot clock. Allen Eikens creates contact. Surprised he didn't get a call. Smith has the rebound. And Smith loses the ball out of bounds on the dribble. He crashes to the hardwood, and we step aside. 6-point game with less than 4 minutes to play at ExtraMile Arena. CSUN keeping it close with the Broncos. We welcome you back to ExtraMile Arena. Tyson Degenhart for Boise State. He's really Mr. Consistent. Anything you need from him, he'll go and provide it. And tonight the Broncos have needed scoring. He's stepped up with 10 points on 50% shooting.
Well, he is Mr. Consistent. He's Mr. Effort, too. I mean, the guy just plays his tail off day in and day out. The reigning Mountain West Freshman of the Year, averages 15 points this year. He's got 10 tonight. And a new finance major, by the way, just switched his major. He's the All-American college kid, and I bet he gets a few more buckets before tonight's over.
Boise State will need him down the stretch run if they want to put this one away. Degenhart coming off a game where he had 19 with 8 rebounds, 7 of 15 shooting against Utah Valley. Shooting 50% in this contest for the Broncos. Exactly what they need him to be, and that is a steal. Abo and Smith in the backcourt take it away. Shaver can work it outside.
That little soft press finally got the Matadors. Caught him sleeping one time.
Shaver goes in. Offensive foul. Illegal screen against Najee Smith. It's going the other way.
Boy, again, missed opportunity for Boise State. Yeah, well, that was foul. Pretty easy one.
Both feet were still moving for Smith as he tried to just back into that backside screen. And in a 6-point game, critical turnover for Boise State after they had just won a free possession.
Boy, I think you got to guard shooters right here.
Into the post for Tucker. Turns around, back iron. Smith with the miss. .245 to play. Broncos by 6. CSUN in a 2.5-minute scoring drought. Some buckets for the Boise State would put the game away. Degenhart for the dagger.
Boy, he thought he had it, got a good look, but again, neither team able to capitalize on the possessions.
Bonogo keeping his head up. Tucker on the right block.
Oh.
He has been unsuccessful against Degenhart, and that struggle continues.
Boise State is so fortunate. Matadors have had so many good looks.
Foul called as Shaver went to the tin. Tucker is 0 of 5 shooting the ball.
Boy, he's had just a lot of great looks, though, too. Great post moves and drop steps and little jump hooks. Just can't get it to go in.
Nothing is going down for him. A timeout is called. They're trying to figure out whether it's a 30 or a full from Trent Johnson. He'll take the full timeout, 48-42. 2 minutes left to play. Broncos haven't scored in 2.5 minutes, Brian. CSUN hasn't scored in 3:15.
Yeah, but again, both teams have had plenty of opportunity, but yeah, we got 2 minutes to go here, and anything could happen with 2 minutes left.
Shaver's going to be at the free throw line shooting 2 for Boise State. There's a look at the stats in this game so far. You see that free throw number for Boise State. Definitely disappointing for the Broncos, specifically on a night when you're not shooting the ball very well from the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Missed opportunity from the free throw line for the Broncos. Neither team really a good three-point shooting percentage team. They haven't been all season long. That continues tonight. They're definitely in the bottom quarter of the country for Division I basketball teams. I think both teams capable of being great shooting teams, but just hasn't happened yet this year. And again, with 2 minutes to go, anything can happen. CSUN is just hanging around, like I've been saying all game. And if you're Boise State, you don't want that to happen. You don't want a team like this to just hang around, because at that point, they're going to knock down a couple big shots.
And Boise State this season in their first 3 games, they were 12 of 54 from beyond the arc. Over their last 3 games, they've made 8 or more threes in every game, and they're shooting around 36% from deep. Here tonight, 32%. They need 1 more to make 8 and push that to 4 straight games with 8 or more made threes as Shaver makes his first free throw.
Boy, that's actually a big free throw for Shaver.
14 points for Shaver. Second free throw, makes that 2. So Shaver's got 15, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals for Shaver, who is yet again stuffing the stat sheet.
Oh.
Bostic fouled just as he crossed the other side of half court. That's the 7th foul against Boise State, so this is where it gets to dangerous territory, because now CSUN's got 1-and-1s.
Yeah, did not really want to stop the clock at that point with 1:53 left. Shaver picks up his 3rd.
And a team who has not made any of their last 6 shots from the floor gets a chance to get their first points in over 3 minutes with Bostic at the free throw line.
Oh, boy.
But he misses it. It's hit out of bounds by Boise State, according to the officials, and then they instantly call for a review. Fidelis Okereke was in there with his hand tangled up with Abo. Here's the look.
Yeah, we can't really tell from this angle.
The question is going to be, did Degenhart get a swipe on the ball as Okereke tried to palm it downwards? And if it gets turned around and Boise State gets to keep the ball, it's going to be over 3.5 minutes now without a point for CSUN. And we talked about them fading down the stretch in the first half. This would be a big collapse for them in the second half of a game that was very winnable.
Yeah, and so frustrating for Trent Johnson and his staff. I mean, they've actually played a very good basketball game. They just can't make a bucket. 38% from the field, 31 from the three-point line, 55% from the free throw line. Just really a rough night for the Matadors.
A rough night indeed, but keeping the ball right here would go a long way for them to finish a possible comeback attempt. Down by just 8, but need to get some points, and need to get some points in a hurry. For Trent Johnson, we talked about him a lot, talked about how established he is. Haven't really given you the background, though. He's in his 19th season, played at Boise State from 74 to 78, and he's won a Coach of the Year award in 3 different conferences. He was Coach of the Year in 2003 at Nevada in the WAC, then at Stanford in the Pac-10 back in 07-08. And then his first season at LSU, he was the SEC, the Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year in 08-09. In all 3 of those seasons, he led his teams to the NCAA tournament. He's been away for coaching from 5 years until he was named the interim head coach at CSUN. His last stop was 4 years at TCU, where he struggled as the Horned Frogs made the adjustment into the Big 12.
Yeah, he really has had a storied career and has been everywhere. He's had success everywhere. He's struggled everywhere a little bit as well, and he's had a great coaching career, and I think everybody who knows Trent Johnson really likes the guy. And he's a Boise guy, right? He played at Boise State. He coached at Boise High School right here locally, and we're always happy to have Trent Johnson back in town.
It's great to have him here. Of course, Boise State very happy with they have on their benches Leon Rice in his 13th season. He's second all time in both wins as a Mountain West member and Mountain West Conference wins, with 226 as a member, 118 wins in conference. The only person who has more in those 2 categories than Leon Rice is the legend of the conference himself, Steve Fisher.
Well, Leon's had really a remarkable run here. Last year's Mountain West Coach of the Year, and he's just a master recruiter, and I think, honestly, his entire staff right now is the best staff that Boise State basketball has ever had. And the future is bright for Boise State basketball.
After the review, it stays with CSUN. This is Wright on the fadeaway from the baseline, and that's another shot where for CSUN it looks promising, and the end result is disappointment.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Got a good look, thought he was going to make it. She's not going in for him tonight.
The results have not matched the execution for CSUN in regards to scoring the basketball in the second half. They're just 5 of 23. This is Rice behind the back pass. Oh, Degenhart can't make the finish, but Najee Smith, no, that won't go either on the offensive glass, and there's a minute left to play. The Broncos are up by 8, and the Bronco bench all turns to look away as Wright makes it and gets fouled. It's an and one. And don't look now, but with a free throw, CSUN could be in a 2-possession game with a minute left.
Oh, I think Leon Rice just wants this game to be over and over right now. He just wants to get over here, get out of here, get a W, and move on. But it's not over. 6-point game.
And Boise State will be on the road on Saturday, part of their very difficult non-conference schedule. As Wright makes the free throw, it's a 5-point game. Broncos with 2 at home to kind of ease back into things with Utah Valley and CSUN. It's going to be a hostile neutral site.
Boise State needs to be very, very careful with this possession.
5-point game. Degenhart with the basketball. Shaver gets open, and he's fouled from behind by Wright. Double bonus time for Boise State. 2 free throws for Shaver. And he's the man that the Broncos want at the line. He's 4 of 5 on the night. Trent Johnson calls a timeout. Broncos will head to their bench. CSUN will head to theirs. Boise State up 5. 2 free throws coming up for Shaver. And mentioning the look ahead, Broncos need to look really carefully at these next 40 seconds. But coming up next is Texas A&M in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena. The #1 team in the country is going to be playing in that preseason battleground tournament. Houston's going to be there playing the game after Boise State. Texas A&M just fell out of the top 25. They're no longer receiving votes. But that's a game for Boise State on a neutral site. You can pick up a big tournament resume boosting victory early in the year.
And a winnable game for Boise State, right? Obviously, it's on the road. Obviously, they'll have to play better than they've played tonight. But a winnable game and another signature win. I mean, they've got Washington State that they've knocked off. They beat Pac-12 Colorado. Texas A&M would be a nice one to add to that list.
Shaver makes the first free throw, and Colorado beat Texas A&M at the Myrtle Beach Invitational that Boise State was at. Broncos almost matched up with the Aggies in South Carolina. Based on some of the results, Shaver makes both free throws. So on a night where Boise State struggling at the line, Shaver's been their Prince Charming. He's 6 of 7.
17 for Schaefer again. Really nice job. This really soft 1-2-2 trap and then back to man.
Blocked by Smith. Second shot is a foul. I thought they were going to call it goaltend, but they call a foul.
Boy, I was with you, Leonard. I thought they were going to call it goaltend as well.
Alan Eikens wants a review because that ball was on its way down when Smith tipped it. But they just say 2 shots, no review. If it was a goaltend and a foul, that's, again, serious business. So Deshaun Allen Eikens, another important transfer. Shooting 2, misses the first free throw. It's just been a night, Brian, where the hoop feels so much smaller than it really is for both sides.
Yeah, and again, so frustrating for the coaching staff in this. They can draw it up, but they can't execute it for them. They got one.
6-point game, and Degenhart takes a wise timeout. He didn't have anybody to inbound it to with 28.2 seconds left, rather than risk the 5-second violation and turn the ball over.
Well, again, really a good idea by Tyson Degenhart. Just take a timeout. Let's regroup because we need to get the ball inbounds. You can't risk a steal and a 3 right here and make it a 1-possession game.
And that was one of the big things that I think everybody around the conference and everybody who followed Boise State basketball last year noticed fairly quickly about Tyson Degenhart. As a freshman, his basketball IQ, as soon as he stepped on the court, very high.
Yeah, it's at a high level. I mean, he's a thinker for sure. Really smart kid. Team guy for sure. And he's just going to make the right play. He's just all about winning and doing it right.
He's always the one in the huddles for Boise State, grouping the team together during fouls, during out of bounds, leading them vocally. And the Broncos come back out with Degenhart the inbounder, Whiting, Shaver, Abo, and Rice is the lone man downtown. Broncos trying to get it over the line. They do to Shaver. He's going to try to burn some clock, and he'll get fouled by Ethan Abonogo.
That might do it for Boise State. They had a couple free throws to drop here. Looks like they're going to hold Matadors under 50 points. And again, great defensive effort by Boise State. Actually, a great defensive effort by the Matadors as well.
Shaver makes another free throw. If Boise State does hold the Matadors to under 50, it would be the second time this season after they whooped Loyola Chicago 70-48 in South Carolina in game number 2 of the Myrtle Beach Invitational. And Marcus Shaver makes them both. So you talk about him being huge. 8 of 9 at the free throw line. He's got 8 of Boise State's 9 made free throws. A lot of time being wasted by Bostic. He takes a tough shot with Whiting. Save to Degenhart, who gets fouled with 9.5. And that should do it, even with 2 misses at the free throw line. Not a lot of time for CSUN to make up the point differential.
Well, a workmanlike effort. I've said it all game long by the Broncos. They just kind of hung in there and gutted it out, and they're going to get the win tonight. It wasn't the prettiest 40 minutes of basketball.
A handling your business victory for Boise State, doing just enough to extend that winning streak to 4 as Leon Rice looks on. Broncos will improve to 5-2 here in the early season, and they will, after Saturday, gone through the toughest stretch of non-conference.
Yeah, and I think the Boise State coaching staff really understood this game would be like that. I mean, that's just how Trent Johnson teams play.
And Rice gets the steal. That will seal it. And the Broncos will win by 9, 55-46 for CSUN. The slide continues. They have lost their 5th straight contest, while Boise State has won their 4th straight. And this CSUN team, we said it all night long, so much better with that 1-5 record. They came to Boise, and they put up an outstanding effort. But in the end, just couldn't make the shots when they needed to. Go 6 of 26 in the second half.
Yeah, again, just a poor shooting performance by the Matadors. Hence, 46 total points. Hence, you're going to get the loss in Boise tonight.
The Bronco defense deserves a lot of credit. That's what they've done over the past 2 seasons. They make it difficult to score. CSUN found that out the hard way here this evening, and they go 1 of 10 down the stretch outdo the Matadors, but the Broncos didn't hit a field goal over 4.5 minutes, so neither team could put the ball in the basket when it mattered most.
Well, it's kind of the post-Thanksgiving game, right? I mean, maybe too much turkey over the holidays, I'm not sure, but hey, they've got that out of their system now. Hopefully both these teams will have a great run in their conferences.
And we've got Marcus Shaver on the headset with us. Marcus, big-time game for you. Again, you come up with 19 points. Free throws were really important, though. You hit 8 of 9. Talk to me about down the stretch, those free throws that were putting you at the line to ice the game. What was going through your mind there?
Just stay solid, man. I know I missed those game-time free throws the other time at home, and I've been in the gym working on my free throws, got a new routine, and just knocked them down tonight.
Marcus, rebounds. Tell us, how do you get so many rebounds?
My teammates just do a good job of boxing out, creating that pocket, and I just sneak in there sometimes to grab some rebounds. So
you're coming back for the outlet pass anyway, so you're close.
Yeah.
You're close to the basket, so you just go grab it.
And plus, it's easier when I just go grab it, and we're already in transition. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Talk to me about the offensive end tonight, Marcus. As the point guard, you know you're in charge of scoring not only for yourself, but getting your teammate open looks. It was a tough night defensively. CSUN was giving you a lot of trouble in that man-to-man. What was it that they were doing that made it so difficult, and how will that help you going forward through the rest of the non-conference?
They're a really scrappy team, and they got us in the first quarter. We had to adjust to their physicality, and we did a good job in the second half of just playing through that contact. And I'm proud of my team for adjusting, and yeah, we got the dub tonight. So.
Well, we appreciate your time, Marcus. Congrats on the victory, and best of luck down in Texas.
Thank you.
Marcus Shaver, big night, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals for the Broncos as they win it 55-46. And joining us next here on the broadcast is Max Rice. And Max, great game for you. 7 rebounds, second leading rebounder on the team. We talked a lot about Marcus and his rebounding ability, but tonight it was you getting there. What led you to all those opportunities to just get in there and grab some boards?
Yeah, well, Leon came up to me before the game today, and he said he needed more boards out of me. I've been leaking out lately, so I had to get in there and scrap with the big dogs today. So.
Hey, Max, was it tougher to get to the middle offensively? Was it tougher on the dribble drive, and why was that tonight?
Yeah, I think they were kind of scrapping harder than us. They came out and they were playing harder. It kind of felt like they had 6 defenders all night, and it kind of bothered us early. We kind of adjusted later in the game, kind of short punch pitches, and that's kind of what changed the game for us in the second half.
Yeah.
And this non-conference for you guys, it's been a real struggle in terms of the competition that you've played. You guys have excelled, but it's been really good teams. You got another good team in Texas A&M on Saturday. What can you take from this game and this tough defense that CSUN brought into Fort Worth?
Yeah, I mean, CSUN came out here and played really good. I think that'll prepare us well for Saturday's game against A&M. I think we got to go back to practice and learn just kind of how to punch, short, kick. I think we were over-dribbling a little bit tonight. I don't know how many turnovers we had, but we'll definitely see that in the film, and we'll learn from this game and get better. So.
Well, Max, congrats on the victory. We appreciate your time here, and best of luck in Texas.
Thanks for having me.
Max Rice for Boise State. 8 points and 7 rebounds for the Broncos in a winning effort, 55-46 over CSUN. And Brian, it wasn't easy for either side, but in the end, Boise State did exactly what they needed to extend this winning streak, and they can look forward finally to Texas A&M on Saturday.
That's exactly right. It wasn't the prettiest game by either team. The post-Thanksgiving hangover, right? But hey, Boise State gets the W, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. They get the win, they move on to Texas A&M, and that'll be a bigger and better game for them.
They don't ask how you got them. They only look at wins and losses. And for Boise State, they move to 5-2 on the campaign with another opportunity to earn a big resume-boosting victory in the non-conference on Saturday. The Broncos will be at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. It's a neutral site game, not that far from College Station. A&M will travel well, and the Broncos will try to push the winning streak to 5 when they play on Saturday. For our crew here at Boise State University and my broadcast partner, Brian King, I'm Leonard Berry, thanking you all for tuning into this edition of Boise State Basketball. Broncos on the road on Saturday, our final at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State 55, CSUN 46.